The inverter basically is just the brains of the operation. It converts the DC voltage and converts it into AC voltage, so that way you can send it back to the grid.
That makes sense.
The good thing about this system is that they use optimizers, so whenever this is cut off, it limits each panel to 1 volt per panel. So whenever it's coming down, you don't have a liability of getting shocked or anything like that. So if you ever do need to service it, or if you ever just get curious and you turn this off, because after we get done installing, this is your equipment. Essentially, this is all yours.
Right.
So if you ever just wanted to pull it off and check these terminals and whatnot, if you have a voltmeter, I don't know what your profession is, but if you have a voltmeter, then you can always check your DC voltage and make sure that you have the correct amount of like I said, 1 volt per panel. So you have a total of 18 panels on string 1, you have 10 panels here. On string 2, you have 8 panels here. So whenever you stick your voltmeter in and you turn your setting, the DC voltage, if you want to hold this for me,
Yes.
and you take your red to red and your black to black, you'll see 10 volts right there. If I can keep it still. There
Pretty
you
much.
go. And then I don't know if they're done dropping these panels yet, but
There will be 8.
yeah, it will be 8. So they have 3 more left to drop, or 4 more left to drop, I guess.
Yep.
Okay. Alright, so once that green sticker slapped on there from the city, breaker for the solar sense unit will already be on, but all of this will be off. Just hit the breaker, and then your disconnect be next, and then you'll do your inverter last. I got that on there, right? And that'll be last, and then also I did drill out that hole so you guys will be able to put a lock there. Also, you'll be able to put a lock here if you like to keep people from opening this. Just keep a note that if you put a lock here, they won't be able to turn it off, but they also won't be able to open it. So there's like a little lip whenever it's in the on position, you're not able to open it. So I am gonna also put zip ties. This zip tie be for keeping people from opening it just for the inspection. You can feel free to cut it off if you like to. Just when it's in the on position, just make sure you don't open up this box and touch none of the terminals.
Right. It's for safety precautions.
Exactly. Even if in the off position and this breaker's on, don't touch the line side. So basically the top terminals, don't touch those if this breaker's on, because that top side will be energized if this is off. In the on position, they'll both be energized. So just like I said, the zip tie here, you should just be able just to force this lever up, and you should be able just to break that zip tie right off. It should be easy. And then you can just leave that on if you like to, or if you like to put on that lock, just go ahead and cut it and put that lock on. Just like I said, the only disadvantage would be that you guys would have to be able to take off that lock if we needed to come in service.
Right.
So yeah, other than that, that's the basics of the system. Everything else is pretty much, as you see it, other than the app could be a little confusing. If you do have questions about that, I would say to reach out to Matt or, your sales rep.
And then,
Yes, it's Solar Edge Monitoring is what it's called.
Yeah.
Yes, sir, the Solar Edge Monitoring, and I'll show you exactly, because there's 3 apps, so it can get confusing. It's the one that looks like this. It has basically like small little graph chart. Yeah, Solar Edge Monitor. And don't just make sure you don't create an account or anything like that. The office will take care of that part, and then they'll send you access to the system. That way you guys can log in. Like I said, as far as the Sense Unit app goes, you can go ahead and download Sense Home is what it's called. It's an orange app with like a white home screen. Now with that app, make sure you do the same thing and don't create an account. That is something that we'll have to come back once we get that new Sense unit. We'll have to come back and we'll create the account on spot with you guys. Yes, sir. And at that time, we'll need your email address, We won't need your password for your email, just your email address. We'll create your password for the account. We just ask that you don't change it. That way we can also monitor, and if anything goes wrong, we can just dispatch somebody instead of you guys contacting us, and then we have to kind of make room for you, you know?
Yes.
So,
Okay. Yes.
other than that, that's the full walkthrough for your Solar Edge app and for your Sense unit. Any other questions?
Were you gonna show me the solar Alliance app to monitor the panels and?
Like how it looks?
I mean,
Because right
Just like the
now,
basic
the only
stuff.
thing is that none of this system is plugged into our app right now.
Yes.
So we won't be able to see anything necessarily right now. It might take an hour of the system fully being online, and we're just here to test it and then lock it up for the inspection.
Okay.
But I can show you what it will look like with a different system that we already have online.
Okay.
So basically, this is how it'll look. You'll see your current power, you know, as a live status. You can see how much you produced today. You can even go back, you know, to different days, and then even go back a year and look over the whole year, you know, how you've been producing. And it tells you how much emissions you saved. And then if you come down here, this is a graph of your panels. Then you can actually see exactly which panels are producing the most. Like on this system is set up, this is the front of the house, this is the left side, right side, and back. So as you can see, most of this customer's power is coming from. Yes, sir. So it's kind of a neat thing that you'll be able to see, and you'll be able to see, let's say a panel goes out or optimizer goes out, you'll be able to see exactly where that is not communicating at. And we also look over it from time to time. So if we notice a problem, like I said, we'll just dispatch somebody out. We might, you know, give a call out just to see if you have a lock on the inverter. That way we can ask you to take it off before you go to work or something like that.
Yes,
And we
yes.
can take care of it.
Okay. Yep. That sounds pretty easy to understand.
Yes, sir. Other than that, good to go?
Yes.
All right.
Sounds good.